Hello everyone, and welcome to a special episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I run over here on youtube.com/GodSaw. First of all, obviously it's a special episode because this is going to be predictions for Wrestlemania 35, but I do have to kind of get out there why I haven't really been around as of late, and it was mainly due to a computer issue that I was having. And I thought I was getting things fixed to where I can kind of work around it and not necessarily have to really worry about the full fix until a little bit later, and I would just be able to keep going. But as you think of one thing, or you kind of planned for one thing, it doesn't necessarily go to plan. It did turn out, I was thinking that it was a particular motherboard issue that was going on with my computer, but it actually ended up being a hard drive issue. So I ended up having to replace one of my hard drives in the computer, the one that I traditionally go through doing like recording or anything on that particular one. That was the main issue of what was going on. At least that's what it looks like from all indications, based off of the tests that I've done with the replacement and everything. That does seem to be fixing the issue that I was having, which was crashes during recordings and tons of different other things. Footage was lost, all that kind of good jazz. All that kind of good jazz was going on. So it looks like that's fixed, and I could be coming back and doing things normally again. I will not do an episode, a traditional episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle this week, as it is WrestleMania week. So I will focus mainly around doing a WrestleMania review, NXT TakeOver review, and my game plan is to watch the G1 Supercard, the Ring of Honor New Japan G1 Supercard, which I may be doing a review of that as well. I won't be doing predictions for that particular show, as I'm not fully aware of everything that's going on, so I couldn't give a proper prediction or anything on that one. I've at least been watching the WWE side of everything, while the other side I haven't necessarily been watching all that much. But I'm interested in the particular card that they have for the G1 special, and we'll see how that one ends out turning out. I will more than likely, assumptions already put that that's going to be a pretty good show, just like the NXT TakeOver show. Generally, those are going to be good shows for things to watch. WrestleMania 35 will be an interesting one to watch because I forget how many matches we have here as we're about to predict, but it's somewhere upwards of 15 or 16 matches, with there being a potential of another match being added to the show itself a little bit later, because there is always that potential of them doing something with the Raw Tag Team titles that have not been announced yet. But every other match has been announced, and I'm going to go through each match and kind of predict who's going to win each one. So let's go ahead and start with the most recent match that got announced. Though I doubt this one's going to actually be on the kickoff show. I feel like the Cruiserweight title match will be on the kickoff show, along with the two Battle Royals. But the match that was most recently announced was a Fatal 4-Way tag team title match for the SmackDown tag team titles. It's going to be the Usos going up against Ricochet and Aleister Black, going up against The Bar, going up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, and not much really build to this particular one. They've been building up Aleister Black and Ricochet as a tag team. As my hair's going all over the place. My hair's been all over the place today, or just recently in general. They've been building up both Ricochet and Aleister Black a lot, both on Raw and SmackDown, since they're pseudo call-ups from NXT. I guess it could be full-time call-ups from NXT on that one. I don't really suspect them doing much with Nakamura and Rusev being a tag team, so I just don't see them winning this one. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, they've done a lot. They've done a lot in this particular one, especially in the tag division. The SmackDown tag division has always been far better, at least over the last year, than the Raw tag team division. I mean, you had the Usos, the New Day, and the Bar in that tag division. Plus, they misused two other great tag teams to go along with it. On that particular one, you had a great tag team division there. So Oddly enough, I'm actually going to go with Ricochet and Aleister Black picking up the victory in this one. I don't really have a reasoning behind it, but they've been building them up strong. And based off of how they lost the Raw Tag Team title match on Monday by countout, I feel like they're going to put them over in some way, shape, or form. And I don't see them necessarily going over in at this point in time, I don't see them going over in the NXT Tag Team title match against the War Raiders on the NXT TakeOver show. I am going to be doing predictions for NXT TakeOver, by the way, just after the fact, because I want to give a chance to be able to watch NXT this week to see how I feel about each of the 5 matches that will be going on at that particular show. So I will be doing an NXT TakeOver predictions, but it will come at a later time. So I'm going with Ricochet and Aleister Black there. For the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and well, we'll just put it this way, the match that basically only had the build of Braun Strowman and the SNL guys from the Weekend Updates, which I have not been watching Saturday Night Live for probably the last 10 years, so I didn't really even know who these guys were to go along with it. But it's Colin Yost and what was it? Colin Yost and Mike. Oh, I forget their name. I forget the names. If I butcher the names, I'm gonna butcher the names. I know the second one's name is Michael, but I forget his last name off the top of my head right now. On those particular ones, but it's basically been a build between those 3. I feel like based off of how they've been playing everything up, they could simply kind of have those guys even themselves out. And technically, that's how you get rid of Braun and everything with that one, where he kind of goes after the SNL guys or something like that, and he eliminates himself, or however it's going to go on that particular one. And then they go with somebody else there, maybe an EC3 or an Apollo Crews or Titus O'Neil or something on that side. I don't necessarily know where they're going to go with it, but I'm just going to have a banter. I'm going to have a banter pick on this one. I'm going to just pick Colin Yost to win this one because why not? I think they've kind of made their point proven on both the Battle Royals, is that it's kind of a way for everybody to get themselves on the card in some way, shape, or form. Not much is made of it at the time, but it kind of is what it is, so why not? Let's give it a banter win, and just give it to Colin Yost, because it would be kind of funny. Honestly, he played a pretty interesting heel on his segments on Raw, so why not? We'll just go with that. Up next will be the Women's Battle Royal, probably another match that will be on the kickoff show as well. On that one, both the Battle Royals seem to be on the kickoff show. At least last year, both the Battle Royals were. I would imagine they will be this time. I'm going to go for a pick that I don't think has technically been put into the match yet, but I think they're going to make this her debut match. And I'm going to go with Lacey Evans. I was originally going to go with Asuka based off of what they had done, recently. With her dropping the SmackDown women's title to Charlotte to have that be part of the main event of the night, and then they were going to give her something in return, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case in this one. I feel like they're going to have that kind of end up being a feud for her down the line, and I feel like they're going to give Lacey Evans the victory in this one. So I was originally going to go with Asuka, but then I was like, wait a minute. This could be, like, they've done this with the Andre Battle Royal before with Baron Corbin and everything on that one. So I feel like they're going to go this route again on that particular one. So we'll go ahead and go into what is more likely the main card outside of the Cruiserweight title, which is it was put on a different spot, but I think they've kind of confirmed that it's going to be on the pre-show at this point in time. But up first will be the Intercontinental title. It's going to be Bobby Lashley going up against Finn Balor, who is going to be in, well, the demon form. Guess who's winning? Guess who's winning that match? It's going to be Finn Balor. They're not going to... I don't feel like in the first WrestleMania... that they decide to pull the demon variation out for Finn Balor, that they're going to have him lose. At least not at this point. I really don't even see almost a point of them doing that just to have him lose at this point in time as well. So I'm going to go with Finn Balor. It's kind of an easy pick to go for at this point because of the factors of the Demon character going out there. They could play this up a little bit more as well for something with Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, which they've been playing up on, and they can play a little bit off of that as well. Up next, we have a one-on-one with Drew McIntyre going up against Roman Reigns. And based off of what they've been doing so far is that Drew has basically gotten the best of Roman in every way, shape, or form leading into this particular match since Roman's come back from his sickness. And kind of playing it up is that maybe Roman's not ready for a one-on-one match yet at this time. I feel like that's going to be playing up the factors in there, and that Roman's going to pick up the victory in this one. Drew's been looking really, really good in this particular side. In the promos leading up, in the interactions leading up, he's been getting the best of Roman all over the place. Now, they can play that up and continue on the feud, but I think they can technically still play up this feud, even if Roman picks up the victory in this one, because they could continue on with it either way, and maybe have them trade wins or something on that one, but I feel like Roman's going to pick up the victory here at his first, his first one-on-one match back since returning from from his illness and everything on that particular side. So, up next will be that said Cruiserweight title match. That Cruiserweight title match, I would assume, is going to be in the kickoff show, but you never know. Maybe they give him a main stage on this particular one. It's going to be Buddy Murphy going up against Tony Nese. They've been playing up a pretty good story on 205 Live. I had to kind of read into it a little bit more and watch a few clips here and there to try to catch myself up on what they've been doing 205 Live with this particular one. First of all, having Tony Nese go through a tournament to become a number 1 contender going into the WrestleMania match was a good way of going. They've been playing up this whole both of them being best buds throughout the entire thing, and when, of course, Buddy Murphy comes out to celebrate Tony Nese picking up the victory, Buddy Murphy turns on him big time and destroys him, and now they're going to go after the Cruiserweight, and now it's going to be a little bit more personal going into the Cruiserweight title match. I see Buddy Murphy still picking up the victory on this one. I don't see Tony Nese picking up that title at this point in time. I don't know who would really be taking that title off of Buddy Murphy when it comes to 205 Live. But off of everything I'm seeing right now, I'm going to go with Buddy Murphy to pick up the victory and keep the Cruiserweight title. I'm not sure who they're going to have take that title off of him, though. It could be a Tony Nese down the line, or it could be somebody else. I don't see it necessarily being a Cedric Alexander or anything. Maybe they have somebody else come in from the NXT side that isn't isn't massively on the popular side, and more than likely be a main roster guy and come in to try to take that title from Buddy Murphy, or who they would decide to go with, but I don't see it being Tony Nese. Up next, we have Kurt Angle going up against Baron Corbin, what is supposed to be Kurt Angle's final match, and it's going to be against Baron Corbin. All indications are playing off of that as well. There is a quote-unquote secret John Cena match that's supposed to be on the cards for the show as well. I don't know if that's going to be playing up in this one, but I'm going to go with this, and I'm going to go with Kurt Angle. I know the math says that Baron Corbin wins the match based off of Monday when Kurt Angle got the best of Baron Corbin at the end of the night, but I think they're doing that to kind of set up for Kurt to pick up the victory in the end and what would be his final match. We'll see how this one ends out playing out, but I'm going to go with Kurt Angle in this particular one. Up next, we have Samoa Joe going up against Rey Mysterio. In this one, they've been kind of playing up. You haven't had a lot of interaction in this particular match. It is going to be for the United States title with that one. They've been playing that up based off of promos and everything on that. And you've had Rey doing promos with his son Dominic, and Dominic saying, and Dominic actually going that, you know, Ray's going to stand up to the bully Samoa Joe and take the United States title. He's going to be in the front row, which is going to play up into the particular match itself. So I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to pick up the victory in this match and keep the United States title. I don't see them taking that off of him, and just based off the way that they've been playing it up, it just plays to a little bit more of a Samoa Joe victory versus a Rey Mysterio victory, though a Rey Mysterio victory would be very nice here as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. And this brings us next to AJ Styles going up against Randy Orton. This has been an interesting feud, and by an interesting feud, a fairly entertaining feud, where both guys have been kind of going banter on each other based upon AJ mocking things that Randy Orton had done with WWE, while Randy Orton mocking the independent scene and how long it took for AJ Styles to get to the WWE and everything on that particular side. I've actually been thoroughly enjoying this build-up and this setup through the entire thing, through the promos that they've done and everything to go along with it. I thought it's been very entertaining and just very well done with everything that they've done. I am actually going to go, oddly enough, with a Randy Orton victory in this one. Yes, it's not an aspect that's like, oh, AJ Styles' contract's up in a few months and this and that. They won't give him a win there. It's already been said that he's re-signed with the WWE for X number of years to go along with it. So, but I still feel like they're going to give this one to Randy Orton, because this feels like a feud starter, not a feud ender. And at this point, unlike with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, where I feel like the babyface going over is not necessarily a feud ender, I feel like here, if you have AJ Styles going over based off of what was said and everything that was done so far, that would actually kind of end the feud between the two of them. And I feel like you're going to get more from this particular one. So I'm going to go with Randy Orton going with this particular victory. So this brings us to the women's tag team title match. It's a fatal four-way match, much like the SmackDown tag team title match. It's going to be Sasha Banks and Bayley going up against Beth Phoenix and Natalya, going up against the Iconics, and it's going to be Tamina and Nia Jax for the fourth team. This could be an interesting one. It kind of plays up of what the Sasha Banks Bayley storyline in the terms of the tag titles plays up to, with the exception of not having an NXT team in here. But you have them willing to go up against any competitors from any brand at any time. So you have the legends, Beth Phoenix, the legend, and Natalya, who's still current but is kind of into her own area of legend to go along with it. The SmackDown side, which is the Iconics, and the Raw side, which is Nia Jax and Tamina. So it kind of plays up into that. Hopefully they do something with the women's tag team titles in NXT at some point in time as well. And it will more than likely be with Sasha Banks and Bayley on this particular one, because I'm, based off of everything I'm seeing and how everything goes off, I see Bayley and Sasha Banks picking up the victory in this one. I'm not sure who takes the pinfall or the submission or anything on that particular side, but I see it being Sasha Banks and Bayley picking up the victory and keeping the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. I don't see them necessarily changing those belts quite yet, but that will probably come somewhere else down the line. So up next is going to be the Falls Count Anywhere match. It is going to be Shane McMahon going up against The Miz. And, you know, based off of how matches go and everything on this one, whenever Shane McMahon's in a match, he's usually going to take the loss in some way, shape, or form, with the exception of last year at WrestleMania 34, where he teamed up with Daniel Bryan and picked up the victory. Now that's a whole big different thing there, because it was with Daniel Bryan and his return and everything to go along with it. Here, with the way they've been building up The Miz, as of late as a babyface, and as this guy who's basically destroying everybody around him. It's actually kind of crazy to see how they're portraying Miz as a babyface. It's actually kind of good too. But they've been portraying him as this guy who's just, he wants to get to Shane McMahon for what he did at Fastlane, everything on that side, wanting to be a tag team partner with him, but now Shane turned on him. Everything that he's been doing trying to get to Shane McMahon. Now he gets to get to Shane McMahon, but Shane's going to probably end up winning now. That's how I feel it's going to go. I feel like something's going to go down in this particular match, whether it be some crazy spot or anything on that side or outside interference or anything, that Shane is actually going to pick up the victory over The Miz. And oddly enough, I don't feel like we're going to see the last of this as well. I think we're going to get multiple matches out of this one. I don't necessarily know on that, but I see Shane McMahon actually picking up the victory in this match. I don't know why, but usually in the one-on-one situations, he ends up losing. But I feel a little bit different in this one, where Shane McMahon is actually going to pick up the victory. Up next is also a no-holds-barred match, which will be Triple H going up against Batista. Not much build-up to this one. Though, oddly enough, the small amount of build-up that they put into this has been fairly good. I've actually kind of enjoyed it. I did enjoy the bit with Batista basically just doing a quick video package and then just telling Hunter to kiss my ass on Monday night. I found that to be pretty good on that side. The whole give me what I want thing at the beginning of it was kind of banter and everything to go along with it, but I thought with the intensity it came off really good on that one. They played up to the joke as well. They have forced it to where Triple H's career is on the line. I see Triple H picking up the victory here. They've been playing this up again of the whole Triple H has done everything except beat Batista. So he beats Batista. That's just how I see it going on that one. So I'm going to go with Triple H in this one. So this is going to bring us to the three big title matches of the night. We'll go ahead and start it off with Brock Lesnar going up against Seth Rollins for the Universal title on this. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I feel like Brock's going to win. Just based off of what they did Monday. Like I said, I didn't feel like the whole math of Kurt going over earlier was going to stop him from beating Baron Corbin. I think that's going to be the case here, though. I think Brock Lesnar wins this, and he keeps that Universal title. It'll be, and you'll see it more evident based off of my other two picks to go along with that towards the end. But I am actually going to go with Brock on this one. It's kind of it's based more or less on Monday night, where Seth Rollins kind of gained control over Brock Lesnar and did actually get the curb stomp off, which is kind of one of those hints that maybe the person who actually hit their finisher on the go home show itself doesn't actually pick up the victory or even hit their finisher to begin with in the actual match itself. So I'm actually going to go with Brock Lesnar. I feel like they're going to keep up with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. I don't necessarily feel like this will be a one-off thing. That maybe they do have another match somewhere down the line, aka probably one of the Saudi Arabia shows on that one, and maybe they're trying to give those particular shows a different feel and a different vibe to them other than just house shows. Like nothing big or major happens at them. Maybe they're going to do something major at one of those shows. That would be something that would be considered that at that time. So, yep, I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar on this one. Which brings us to the WWE title match, which is going to be Daniel Bryan going up against Kofi Kingston. Ooh, there is a lot of twists and turns that they could do with this one. And they could easily make it to where Daniel Bryan wins, or he even does or he even wins it being completely clean. But I don't see that happening. I don't see that necessarily happening. They have a lot of different ways that say Daniel Bryan will win this match, whether it be Eric Rowan interfering or New Day turning on Kofi Kingston, which they kind of tease it a little bit based off of little looks that Big E kind of gives at times. That makes it feel like it's like, is Big E going to be the one that actually turns on Kofi or anything on that? But I don't think that's going to be the case here. The Big E heel turn will happen at some point in time. I don't know when they're going to do it, or how they're going to do it, or where they're going to get around to it. But I feel like Kofi wins this match. They're going to put that I feel like they're going to put that WWE title on him. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't feel like that's going to be the last that we see of the hemp title that Daniel Bryan has. I feel like Daniel Bryan will get the title again, and they will use that title at some point, some other point in time again as well. But I feel like they're going to put that title on Kofi Kingston here, based off of the wave of momentum that he's done going into this match since replacing Mustafa Ali in the actual Elimination Chamber match, in the Gauntlet match due to Mustafa Ali's injury at that time. I feel like they're going to put that on him, but it also makes you feel like, it's like, was this supposed to be a spot that was supposed to be for Mustafa Ali to go along with it? You kind of got to think about that one, but everything that Kofi's done going into this match has been absolutely great. The crowd's been behind him. Everything to go along with it. It's like, yeah, let's do this. Like, the crowd's been behind the New Day for the longest period of time, but it's like with the whole story that they set up starting at that Gauntlet match before Elimination Chamber leading up into now, not only are they massively behind New Day, but they've gotten super over on Kofi to go along with that, to try to get him this WWE title match. And of course, playing up the exact same things that happened 5 years ago with Daniel Bryan, but kind of in a faster format to go along with it. Though, as we all know, the original plan wasn't for Daniel Bryan to necessarily go over at WrestleMania 30. They kind of fell into that based off of a whole other bunch of other scenarios that happened in 2014 with that one. This one also kind of fell into their lap, and it's like, why not go for it? They definitely sped up the process of, Kofi getting continually screwed over and over and over again, or just coming up short in certain situations. Going along with that, in the terms of the Elimination Chamber match, he just came up a little bit short, but in every other opportunity that he's gotten a chance to go for that WWE title, something's happened where he gets screwed over. He was going to get the match, but Vince is like, no, I'm going to pull you out of the match, and we're going to now have it be Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan. But on the night of Fastlane, it's like, yeah, it's going to be a triple threat match, but Kofi thinks he's going to be the one in it. No, he's in a handicap match, and it's Mustafa Ali that's in the triple threat match. To the Gauntlet match itself, where it's like, it looked like Kofi had won, but then Vince screws him over again in that particular situation, up to the point to where the New Day actually pick up that victory in their Gauntlet match, and they finally say, yes, Kofi's in the WWE title match to go along with it. It's been absolutely insane to see how quick they've gone through that story beat, but also kind of keep it consistent as well on that particular side. So I feel like Kofi's going to pick up the victory in this one. This is going to be kind of those areas of the main event matches where we're probably going to get two of the things we really like, but we're not going to get three of them. That's why I kind of picked Seth Rollins to lose to Brock Lesnar. But this leads us to the main event of the night, which is Ronda Rousey going up against Becky Lynch, going up against Charlotte for both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles. That will be the main event. They've already announced it. It is the match that goes on last, so it is quote unquote the main event of the night. And you know what this feud is, all the twists and turns that they've done, all the twists and turns and unnecessary twists and turns that they've done to get to this match, to the Becky having the knee injury, to being suspended, to this, to that, and Charlotte getting added to it, was kind of all made up in that absolutely fantastic segment on Raw this week, with them getting arrested, and the sheer insanity that they went with in that particular one. Most of that was basically, all that those other crazy things was pretty much made up for in that one segment, with all the extra insanity, the whole aspect of them getting arrested, the cops being so inept to the point that they put Ronda and Becky Lynch into the same car, so they start fighting in the car. They have to pull out Becky Lynch. They go for the other car, but then Charlotte comes out and starts trying to fight, but then Ronda runs the other police car into the other police car, and they're just continually fighting up to the point that like Ronda's trash talking, and Charlotte just waltzes up and does a V trigger to her, does a big knee and a V trigger to her face, and then Ronda kind of comes back to and starts trash talking again. It was absolutely fantastic. And that, yeah, that was absolutely fantastic, and kind of made up for a lot of the missed beats that they've done going into this match beforehand. So as for the match itself, I see only one way of this one going. I could definitely see them having any of the women here actually pick up the victory, but the one that would probably get the reaction that they're looking for an ending to WrestleMania will be Becky Lynch going over and picking up the victory, more than likely based off of how this all started back at Survivor Series with everything that started with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. It would almost be best suiting that Becky Lynch taps out Ronda in the match to pick up the victory and both of the titles. That's the only way I could really see them getting the reaction that they truthfully want going into that one. But I could also see them having either one of them pick up this match and taking both of the titles. I really could. And it would be interesting to see what they decide to do with that particular match and everything to go along with it. Like I said, the build up to a certain degree had a lot of twists and turns that wasn't necessary, but they've had some really good stuff in there, and the crowd is still crazy behind Becky, even with all the craziness that they decided to do in this one. That was mostly unnecessary to go along with it. In that on that particular side. So I kind of see them going with Becky Lynch going over in this match and picking up the victory and taking both the titles. So with that being said, that is everything. That is all the matches at least announced for right now for WrestleMania 35, and those will be my predictions for them as well. I will be coming back with predictions for NXT TakeOver New York. I don't know why they're not calling it Brooklyn, but whatever, on that particular one, since it is in the same building that all the other ones in New York had been in. They always call them TakeOver Brooklyn's, but I guess it's just TakeOver New York this time to kind of change it up a little bit. I'll be coming out with predictions with those after NXT is aired this week, so I've seen what everything's going on into that particular one. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Like I said, I think we've resolved most of the issues, if not all the issues for the time being, on my computer. So I should be coming back with content on a more regular basis from here on in. So with that being said, peace out, take care, and have yourself a great rest of your day.